Skills such as taking a first step, smiling for the first time, and waving bye-bye are called developmental milestones. Developmental milestones are things most children can do by a certain age. Children reach milestones in how they play, learn, speak, behave, and move, like crawling, walking, or jumping. In the first year, babies learn to focus their vision, reach out, explore, and learn about the things that are around them. Cognitive, or brain development, means the learning process of memory, language, thinking, and reasoning. Learning language is more than making sounds or saying mama and dada. Listening, understanding, and knowing the names of people and things are all a part of language development. During this stage, babies are also developing bonds of love and trust with their parents and others as part of social and emotional development. The way parents cuddle, hold, and play with their baby will set the basis for how they will interact with them and others. During the second and third years, toddlers are moving around more and are aware of themselves and their surroundings. Their desire to explore new objects and people is also increasing. During this stage, toddlers will show greater independence, begin to show defiant behavior, recognize themselves in pictures or a mirror, and imitate the behavior of others, especially adults and older children. Toddlers should be able to recognize the names of familiar people and objects, form simple phrases and sentences, and follow simple instructions and directions. As children grow into early childhood, their world will begin to open up. They will become more independent and begin to focus more on adults and children outside of the family. They will want to explore and ask about the things around them even more. Their interactions with family and those around them will help to shape their personality and their own ways of thinking and moving. During this stage, children should be able to ride a tricycle, use safety scissors, notice a difference between girls and boys, help to dress and undress themselves, play with other children, recall part of a story, and sing a song. Middle childhood brings many changes in a child's life. By this time, children can dress themselves, catch a ball more easily using only their hands, and tie their shoes. Having independence from family becomes more important now. Events such as starting school bring children this age into regular contact with the larger world. Friendships become more and more important. Physical, social, and mental skills develop quickly at this time. This is a critical time for children to develop confidence in all areas of life, such as through friends, schoolwork, and sports. For more details on developmental milestones, warning signs of possible developmental delays, and information on how to help children's development, visit the Learn the Signs, Act Early campaign website.
So again, tonight we are going to focus on the pre-K ages between 3, 4, 5 years of development. So this is a pretty comprehensive list of a lot of the milestones and the developmental skills for children ages 4 to 5, the pre-K age. We are going to break these down into categories, and we're going to be highlighting some of the milestones from the social emotional category, language and literacy, cognitive, as well as physical developments. After we talk about some examples of each category, we're also going to talk a lot about what to do if you have questions or concerns about your child's milestones, as well as what you can be doing at home to help them grow and meet those milestones. We're going to start with adaptive and motor milestones. Adaptive skills are like everyday life tasks and life skills, and motor milestones is all about movements and muscles. The first thing we're going to highlight is fine motor skills. This is the coordination and movement of small muscles. So I want you to think about your child's hands. This is really important at the pre-K age because they're learning how to write for the first time and they're learning more and more independence. In the preschool age, we're going to see improved hand-eye coordination and some examples of milestones that children are meeting closer to age 5 are spreading food with a knife with supervision, of course, starting to use one hand for all tasks, we want to lean away from switching and grow the strength in that dominant hand, as well as cutting along curved and straight lines. Some other examples you can see here are like stringing a bead, coloring inside the lines, things that require, again, movement of the small muscles in their hands. Gross motor skills is all about the larger muscles and whole body movements. Between the ages of 4 and 5, you're going to see a lot of balance improvement. This can come through the ability to skip and alternating feet, beginning to be able to jump rope, pumping and maintaining momentum on a swing, and hopping on one foot. Of course, children are children. They're not going to be perfect. Or you might be like me and be clumsy for the rest of your life, but these are some general things to be looking out for. Some other adaptive milestones that children are hitting in the pre-K age. Children should dress themselves. They still may need some help, but really encouraging them to be putting on coats and clothes on their own, using those muscle skills, brushing their teeth with supervision, and most students are typically potty trained by the start of pre-K.
So some of our language and literacy milestones, that basically is like reading comprehension and language comprehension. I want you to start thinking, does my student recognize their name? Do they recognize their name? Do they know their name and address? Do they talk a lot about what they're thinking and doing? Can they answer those why questions as you're reading through a story at home? It's very important for them to start recognizing some rhyming words. That's something a lot of the teachers have been practicing recently in a lot of our Zooms. And also that ability to start recognizing the letters of the alphabet and of course the numbers. Is there the expectation that they know the entire alphabet right now? No, but it's good to check in and see what letters do they know, what numbers can we work on? Are they able to retell parts of a story? Those are some things that we have been looking for at the pre-K level. Oh, and here's Dr. White. Our students are struggling with rhyming as a whole. That was mentioned recently in another training, maybe in our professional development yesterday. And she says our students are struggling with fine motor skills. Okay, that's good to know. So rhyming has been a challenge for the pre-K department as a whole this year. That could also, so this was another main part that we were going to discuss in this PowerPoint is, are these developmental milestones being struggled to be met at this point because we're having a lack of exposure of the students in school? So that's also something to consider. If you're noticing that your student may not be meeting all of these, that could be a lack of exposure and something to work on at home, since a lot of our students are primarily attending school from home. I'm just reading the chat. Okay, we can move on to the cognitive milestones. Okay, so some cognitive milestones to be aware of are they able to identify colors, shapes, sorting those shapes and colors, whether by size or using all the little sorting pieces that we have in the classroom. Maybe we could mirror doing something like that at home. Are they able to understand concepts of time? That's something to start noticing in your conversations with your children at home. Can they engage in dramatic play, such as let's play house, right? You be the mommy and I'll be the baby. Having those role-playing scenarios helps them develop that imaginative and dramatic play. And also being aware of different things at home, such as food, appliances. What do we use money for? Where do we get the food from? Do we go to the supermarket? Do you go to the restaurant? It's important to ask those types of questions to see how much they really know about their environment. Also something that the teachers I know practice with the students, and it's on their assessments, is can they draw a body with body parts like a head and arms and legs? So these are other things that you can also be practicing at home to see if they are meeting any of these milestones. So social emotional milestones are also very important because having a strong social emotional base can help support a strong academic future in school. Having the social emotional intelligence helps with frustration tolerance, patience, ability to push forward when a task is challenging, which our students will experience in kindergarten and beyond. And that's why, as many of our parents that sit in on our friendship circles, you will be able to see that the skills we are trying to teach them is expressing that wider range of emotion, learning about not just happy, sad, and angry, embarrassed, bored, brave, grateful, learning how to manage those emotions. Do they need to be doing it independently right now? No. Can they do it with assistance? That's what we're trying to work on, whether it's learning how to take deep breaths, learning how to take a break and be able to come back and finish the task. And also, what has been very challenging for us is this third bullet point, sharing toys and taking turns with assistance. And of course, because of the COVID circumstances we're in right now, that has been probably our biggest challenge, is developing those skills, which helps with patience. So later in the PowerPoint, we're going to be discussing some ways that you can work on that at home.
So there are lots of different things that influence child's development. The first thing we want to also, Ashley, am I going on sound? Okay. The first thing that we want to highlight is, if you are concerned, it's very important to remember that all children are unique and all children develop differently. If you notice that maybe something we mentioned, or if you're looking through a list of milestones to look out for, if you notice that your child hasn't met one or two milestones, it isn't cause to be alarmed. And there's lots of other things that can impact the development of these milestones. So the first one that we're all experiencing right now is pretty obvious, and that's COVID-19. There's way less exposure for children to other children their age, and less exposure to school. Children learn from other children, and they're not getting that traditional pre-K experience this year.
Right.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, like, environmental things to consider, right? Have you moved to a new school? Have you moved to a new home? Have there been any major changes in the child's regular daily routine? That can absolutely create something that would impact a developmental milestone.
And our last bullet here is adverse childhood experiences. So these are more traumatic experiences for children, things such as divorce or losing a member of the family. These things can also impact when a child is meeting their milestones. We're going to listen to this quick video that goes a little bit more into depth into exactly how this impacts their development. And then we're going to talk about ways to support your child if you're concerned about any of these influences.
We're learning more and more about how the physical environment our children are in has an impact on their development. And this is science that is exploding, literally, and the term is epigenetics. And we know today that the environment has a very direct impact on how our children develop, to the point where it is shaping the architecture of the brain. And when I talk about environment, I'm not just talking about the kinds of tables or chairs in the space that your child is spending in. I'm talking about the people. I'm talking about the experiences that those people give a child, the nutrition that is provided, the toxins that may be in that physical setting. All of that is so important, because during those first few years, the environment is able to, A, influence the architecture of the brain, but secondly, through epigenetics, we're actually learning that those environmental interactions that our young children have the capacity to turn on or off certain genes in our system. This is pretty amazing when you think about it. So
A child who is in an environment where there's a great deal of stimulation, lots of talking, lots of interacting, lots of playing going on, there are certain genes that are going to be heightened in terms of their expression, and certain genes that are going to be muted because of those interactions. So we want to keep that in mind when we're looking at the environment that our children are living in, because those kinds of things happening in the first few years are going to stay with that child throughout their lifetime.
Support Ontario's public television.
So again, we just really want to highlight that if you are concerned about your child perhaps not meeting a milestone, or if they are on track for certain milestones, please keep these factors in mind and please come to us to talk about this. Here is our information. We are always available through Seesaw and by email. I put these two ways to contact us up here just because of the frequent closures and us being in the office and not. We're always on our email, and now always available on Seesaw. Lots of families have already been on our Seesaw pages, but if you haven't, we should already be linked right underneath your child's teacher. It should say Miss Ashley or Miss Marissa, and you can message us just as you do with your teacher. If you're having issues, let us know. I also want to pause. Ashley, is there anything in the chat that we can answer before we get into the next portion of the presentation?
Well, our lovely director, Dr. White-Wallace, she said, parents, how can we as parents provide an environment for our children to stimulate them during the pandemic? Which I think is a great question. And the second part of our presentation will really inform parents more about what exactly they can be doing at home to help us keep progressing these students forward and have them be successful in kindergarten despite the current COVID quarantine Zoom school situation.
I need help too, Miss Malan. This is Dr. White-Wallace.
Hello.
And for the parents out there who are like me, I got a 6-year-old at home. The struggle is real. And for those of you who have an only child at home during the pandemic, my heart goes out to you, because it is hard when you want to take a break and you have an only child and it's playtime. So I am just here for the help, Miss Marissa and Miss Ashley, because it's hard when you have
no fear. Your social workers are here.
And I'm running out of ideas.
We are here. We're gonna go over a bunch of ideas of things that you can be doing at home. But you can also reach out to us if you need support in other areas, figuring out how to balance things at home, maybe while you're working from home and while your students learning at home. We are all ears, and we are definitely always available.
Yes, and before we take a step into that at-home support section, before we go past, I appreciate Dr. White saying in the chat, no judgment zone. Everyone is here to support you. The pre-K department is very close. It's a tight family knit group, and we really want to get you guys off to kindergarten as well prepared as possible. And let's be honest, COVID has been unbearable and tough for every single person. And if you need to reach out to us that something's going on, you don't have clothes, there's not enough food, you're struggling to work, we can help you guys get Wi-Fi, so many different things. So please don't ever feel embarrassed to give us a confidential phone call, and we will pretty much go to the ends of the earth to help you guys get what you need. And I just want to make that very, very clear. Please call us. We would love to help you.
Yeah, this definitely goes back to what we were just talking about too, because you have to be cared for in order to care for our students. So we're here again for both the children and you as well. It's a team effort.
We are halfway through the presentation already. I can't believe this. Miss Marissa and Miss Ashley, I just sent the link to you. I don't know if y'all want to spin the wheel one.
Oh, let's spin the wheel.
Good place
and let's give some away half.
Great place to pause. Okay.
Not everyone put their names in the chat.
Don't worry, Dr. White-Wallace was, I was being a stalker. I think I got everybody. I just kept
perfect.
checking.
All right, let's spin that wheel. Marissa, do you have the link?
I do.
Perfect.
Let me get ready.
Asia, mi amor's mom, I'm so with you about not being with other kids. We're going to talk about that too. I'm having the same struggle, no play dates, anything like that. So we're going to definitely talk about that because I'm struggling too. Like, how much painting can I do? Like, how much coloring can I do? Like, I just, I don't know. I'm like at my wit's end also. And Jaden Foster, you have a toddler and a teen. I'm gonna add you to my prayer list at night. Yes, I will. And you're at 2 different developmental milestones.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to talk about that too. When you have, because we have some parents who have kids in high school and then they have a pre-K kid. And it's like, who do I pay attention to? Who needs me more? How do I help them? So definitely, we're going to definitely talk about that. We miss Micah too.
I love that you said, where do we go to scream? You go to your car, the cupboard, lock.
Oh, we're spinning. I didn't even mean to.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that Miss Passetti who won? Guess what? We get to one more time, Miss Marissa. You know why? Because of our PD on Wednesday, Frog Street loved us so much. They gave me an Amazon gift card for a staff person. So Miss Passetti is the staff person who won tonight. So she will be getting the Amazon gift card. Yay, Miss Passetti. Marissa. Let's
so
get
we have
parent.
another spin now, and we'll save another spin for the end because we have 2 baskets, right, Dr. White? 2 more spins. Remember,
2 baskets ready to go.
All right, here we go. I think it might be Cecilia's family. Awesome. So we have an awesome prize bin full of lots of things that you can totally use at home to help grow Cecilia's milestones. There's some games in there, puzzles, a yoga mat, lots of cool things in that bin. So congratulations. And we'll do one more spin before the end of our presentation, Ashley.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Okay, so at the end of the presentation, if you didn't get our emails down, we'll put this back up. We are going to continue moving forward with who is part of the referral process and next steps.
Yes, so after reaching out to your social worker and your teacher, it may be determined that a referral to the CPSE could be helpful for your student. So the CPSE is basically the Committee for Preschool Special Education. Up on the screen, we have the names and contact information of the CPSE committee. This would be something that would be discussed in a meeting with your social worker and your teacher after most likely classroom observations, any type of other intervention before moving on to a referral to the CPSE. So this can also be initiated by the parent. If you feel as though your student, you want them to be evaluated because you feel there's a need for a referral, you are also able to make your own referral as their parent.
In addition to talking to us and the teachers, you may also want to reach out to your child's pediatrician. They can be another really good resource in supporting if you have concerns about meeting milestones. And again, yes, as Ashley said, this would probably come after a classroom observation if the next step was determined to be needed. And Ashley mentioned an evaluation. That is a comprehensive assessment that would determine where and what kind of supports your student could receive in school in order to best support them in continuing their development. Any questions in the chat, Ashley?
I don't see any. Not yet.
Awesome. We'll have a lot of time at the end as well if something comes up. So this is a lot of what we were just talking about. We're going to move into the family involvement portion of the presentation. This is all about how you can support your child outside of the school at home, especially right now where our students are spending lots and lots of time at home. So the first set of supports we're going to talk about are things that target those adaptive and motor skills. Again, adaptive skills are everyday life tasks, and motor skills is all about those muscles. Get your kids moving at home. They're sitting down while they're learning. We do lots of breaks and lots of fun things, but they're spending a lot of time sitting. Two awesome resources we use a lot in school are Cosmic Kids and Go Noodle. Cosmic Kids is all about yoga and mindfulness, a lot of movement there. Go Noodle has tons of dance alongs, tons of exercise videos. They're both really kid friendly and awesome. Something to also keep in mind is your child's nutrition. Right now, all the classes and students are talking about healthy foods. So you're probably hearing a lot about it from your students as well. Making sure they're getting all the nutrients that they need is also going to help them meet these milestones, keep them strong and healthy. Sleep and routine is also very vital at this age. Even though times are very, very uncertain right now, keeping something as simple as making sure no matter if they're in person, if they're always learning at home, having them go to bed and waking up at the same time really helps them get used to a routine and getting enough sleep. Again, with the nutrition, something you can do that targets, making sure they're getting healthy and also using fine motor skills. Let them experiment with food, let them figure out what they like, what they don't like, practicing feeding themselves, even foods that might be more challenging, like an orange or a banana. Let them play with it, make it fun. And this is just a little tip for some life skills tasks at home. Making up songs for self-care tasks like brushing teeth and getting dressed can motivate kids and just keep it kind of fun. If they feel like I can't do it because they're struggling, they're still learning, they're still getting used to it. This is just songs we use all the time in school to motivate them and keep it fun. This is a list of things that you probably already have in your home that can be used to grow fine motor skills, but also to make things fun and come up with new games at home. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on things to grow fine motor skills. For example, the first thing on this list is aluminum foil. I also like the ice trays because most of us have those at home. Something really simple could be rolling up little pieces of aluminum foil into balls and dropping them into the ice trays. You can make a game out of it with your child. That's just one simple example. Anything where your child is squeezing, sorting, pulling, those are all things you can use these materials for. And the website that has a bunch of great examples, it's a little hard to see. Maybe Ashley, you can type it in the chat. It's stillplayingschool.com. That's where this chart is from. And again, these are all things that are probably already in your house, and we can make them fun, but they can also target those really important fine motor skills.
Okay, so language and literacy. Right now, I do know that most libraries are still closed, so we were trying to think a little bit outside of the box as to how you could still get your child reading and working on their language and literacy at home. I think some of our teachers have started doing book in a bag again, I think, which means you should be getting some books home in their book bag for them to have for the week. That would be a great opportunity for you to read these stories, maybe before bath time or bedtime, and talk with them about the story. Ask them questions about what they liked from the book. Stop and ask them, what happened? What do you see on this page? How do you think this person is feeling? Asking those questions to really get them to understand and speak about the books that they're reading. It's very important to take time to make these stories interactive and just try and understand what they're comprehending from the story. Maybe then you could see what they could be struggling with. Another great resource aside from Book in a Bag is epic.com. I'm pretty sure that you can get 30 days free on Epic. You can use it for 2 hours a day, right, Marissa? I think up to 2 hours a day.
So yeah, unfortunately, this was free in the spring, but they changed it for families. It's 30 days free. And then after that, you have 2 hours a day, or you can upgrade for a price. This is a great resource. There's tons and tons of digital books on there. We actually use them all the time during our Zoom lessons. And what's great is it's not just pre-K. So if you have students in other grades, they can use this as well. And something that can get them both involved together. So if you have like a second grader, third, fourth, fifth, have them read to your preschooler. So they're both, you know, getting something out of the experience. They're learning together. I definitely encourage having your older siblings reading to the younger ones as well. Some of the stories even read it to you if you want to play around with that.
Yes.
Yeah,
some of the epic stories will read it to you. And also as the students say they're reading it on the iPad, as they touch and highlight the different letters of the story, it'll stop and say the word for them. It can also, sometimes I think it'll pop up with a definition. So it's very, very interactive. Also, if Epic is not an option for you, something that I use all the time when we're working remotely, YouTube read alouds. There's thousands and thousands of them. You can find them about any topic your student likes, and you just type that in, type in their age, and boom, YouTube will hook it up for you, and you will be good to go practicing that reading at home.
I get one snap.
Oh,
Also,
we have a friend here.
Just to let everybody know, if you sign up to come to our next PD, sorry I'm winded, but I'm actually working out while I'm on this, talk self-care. Our next PD for literacy, everybody's getting a set of books. And the PD after that, for math, everybody's getting books for a math library for their students. So if you sign up, we have 50 spots, you'll get a set of books.
Oh, that's great. Okay, everyone go quickly and sign up for that. Free set of books. Perfect. Okay, so some of the things you can work on at home to develop those cognitive milestones. Again, we've listed some free websites and apps like Starfall, ABC Mouse, the Vroom app, which I think was a great find by Marissa. Can you explain that one a little bit about the different like scenarios they give you?
Yeah, so again, for anybody who's struggling, I'm not, with ideas of what they can be doing at home, this app is great. It's another free app. It basically will give you some ideas and tips and tricks to use at home about how to make everyday experiences a little more fun and a little more educational and grow these developmental skills. So for example, you can, once you get the app, you can select mealtime or bath time, and it'll give you ideas of games, questions to ask your toddler, things like that, to again make it a little more fun but also be a little bit educational.
And Miss Angie just said in the chat she posts a digital library each week, so I'm sure tons of other teachers probably do that too, which is so great. Thank you guys. So you may be thinking to yourself, I'm not a technology person, I don't want my child on the iPad all day. That's okay. Some non-tech ideas. Scavenger hunt. Can you find everything in the living room that starts with the letter C? Or say you're unpacking groceries. What here, let's like categorize these. What starts with the letter D? Which one of these is a fruit? Which one of these is a vegetable? It doesn't all have to be on the phone and the tablet. A very easy one that Dr. White taught me, how many steps from the car to the front door? It's just as you're already doing whatever you're regularly doing, how can we add in something academic to support? So let's just keep it simple. We don't want to overcomplicate your lives, that's for sure. We just want to make things a little bit easier for you. Okay, and some social emotional things you can do at home. As you're reading those books, whether from the digital library or book in a bag, a really easy thing to do is as you're flipping through and you see those characters, I do this a lot in my friendship circles. I'll stop and ask them, how do you think this person is feeling right now? Let's look at their face. What do you see? Again, asking them those self-reflective questions to really stop and understand what's going on in the story. And then to even add more to that, you could say, why do you think they're feeling that way? And that helps them understand empathy and have a deeper understanding of emotions and what causes certain emotions. Another way is, of course, just through play. Play is the easiest way to help develop those social emotional skills, whether it's just taking turns, sharing, developing patience, and of course, role playing. If you have other children in the home, that's perfect for, of course, COVID precautions, or maybe there's a cousin they see often that you guys do socially distant things with, that would be perfect, because engaging with children that are their own age is vital, of course, for this developmental milestone.
You can see in the picture, there's some examples of these toys that encourage imagination, play, toys that have multiple uses, not just like a one and done kind of toy, are more important for the development of this milestone. And we have about 10 minutes. We're going to play one more quick video and then get into questions. So if you have any questions, you can begin typing them in the chat now.
The most important thing to realize is that a child reaches their milestones through learning, through playing, through experience. So the best way to help your child reach their milestones is by providing them with opportunities to do so. In other words, encouraging them to play with other children, encouraging play dates, encouraging them to be in the playground, being in a preschool if you're able to, is a great way for them to learn from their peers. You can also model things for them, and you can play with your children. So if you're working on their ability to match objects, go get a matching game. You can buy any type of matching game. They have things from princess matching games to pirate matching games to Thomas the Choo-Choo Train. Anything that your child is interested in, you try to incorporate that into the play, because they'll be more willing and able to play those games with you. Another great way to get them to reach their milestones is through interactive make-believe play, and also board games, puzzles, and also using language in everyday skill. Ask simple questions and have your child tell you elaborate stories, and then use follow-up questions so that they're working on that language and communication developmental milestones as well. The most important thing to know is that parents have a very strong impact on your child's development. So you really have a lot of control in your child's development. So the more opportunities that you present for your child, the more that they will be able to learn, play, grow, and laugh.
So of course, a lot of what she mentioned is a bit challenging right now because of what is going on in the world. So what we want to add is try not to put too much pressure on yourself. If you can set aside even just an hour a day into your routine where maybe you are going to play with your child, engage with your child because they aren't able to come to school, they aren't able to play with siblings or neighbors because of what's going on, even if it's just an hour, that will definitely make a difference. I know there's so much technology involvement right now, but at the same time, it is a really positive thing. Try to set up Zoom playdates, FaceTime playdates, anything that you can, while also keeping in mind the safety of your family.
We have a question in the chat, Marissa. I'm going to read it. It says, with this pandemic, somehow it seems for pre-K, they are online for a long time and get quite a lot of schoolwork. Not sure if it's because my daughter goes to daycare, but by the time I pick her up and finish her work, it's bedtime. Just wondering, how much are they actually retaining? I understand. Is she, Miss Mornan Stewart, is she going to daycare and doing her Zoom school from daycare? Oh, yes. So she's doing her Zoom. I'm sure that's got, and then you're probably working all day and then you come home and you feel like you're doing more work, right? Yes, we actually are pretty academically rigorous for preschool. I think we've heard that before, Dr. White, but repetition is the key to retention at this grade level. I was actually just gonna say, come kindergarten, where there's just that one teacher in the room and there's not as much support as they receive in pre-K, we're really trying to make sure they are fully prepared for what will be considered kindergarten college. And I say that not to scare you, but to make sure that you are aware it will be a lot more work come kindergarten, and we want to make sure they are ready for that. I agree. I want to challenge the children, but I do feel that there's a lot of work and it is a bit advanced and requires a lot of parental contributions. I agree. It does require a lot of parental contributions because of the circumstances we are in right now. When we are fully in school and your children are with us from 8:30 till 3, they are getting that support from the teacher and the teaching assistant. And right now, it's like you guys are the teacher at home too. So it is like a second job. I totally understand. And that's why this COVID has been so brutal on families. And you guys, I know, are just trying your best to get everything done. And we see that. Yeah, Dr. White says distant learning is for the parents and the students. It has to be. It's so hard for them to do it independently. I know that it's challenging. That's why we try to do these workshops and really support you guys as much as we can.
And I think this is a great quote right here. It says, remember, your child loves to learn from you. Your time together gives them a strong start in life. I know it's challenging times right now, balancing your own responsibilities and your own work, as well as now perhaps having to teach your child at home. But this is also time that you're getting to spend with them that is really going to impact them for the rest of their lives, and try to make the best out of the experience. Try to incorporate these different, fun, exciting games into your daily routines. And we just encourage you, again, like Ashley said, try your best. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I think we have some more questions. I can see it going off, but I just wanted to throw this out here for anyone who's feeling like this is overwhelming, or they might forget what we talked about, or want sort of a concrete list of milestones. This is a great resource. Again, it's another free app. It's from the CDC Milestone Tracker app. There are lists of each of these milestones. You can track them. There's also information, again, about what to do if you feel your child is struggling with certain milestones. So this is just an additional resource, but of course, we encourage you to come speak with us if you are having those concerns, rather than rely on just that.
Yes, Ms. Foster asked, will there be any setbacks if we see that our children are not meeting these milestones? It's so specific to each student. These developmental milestones are unique to your children and their classmates. So if there's some major red flags, like if we've mentioned some things and you're thinking, oh, wow, there's so many that they're not meeting right now, please reach out to whoever is your social worker, whether it's Marissa or me, and let's have a conversation about it, and we can go from there. There's no kind of blanket response because it's so individualized. And Dr. White says, Ms. Foster, we're expecting all students to be affected. Yeah, everyone has been affected developmentally. So it's hard to tell if it's a developmental situation or a lack of exposure to school. That was a great question.
And I also want to add, if you're concerned that your child isn't meeting a milestone or is being impacted about what's going on with COVID and other environmental factors, if they haven't met it yet and they're 4, maybe they're going to meet it when they're 5. Maybe they're going to meet it when they're 6, and that's okay. Just like Ashley said, it's really individualized to each and every student.
I think before we say goodbyes, we have to spin that world.
Are there any more questions in the chat or any other questions about anything, even if it wasn't about milestones, something you want to ask Ashley or I?
I'm gonna send you ladies an updated link because a couple people came on and I added their names.
Perfect.
Awesome. And again, I know we've said it a lot, but please, here, I'm going to put it up again. Write down our emails if you don't already have them. Check us out on Seesaw. We really are always open to talking individually, and we have a lot of ideas and information. We just want to support in the best way that we can. We have a new link.
Yes.
Let's spin. Any suggestions? A question popped up that I think is a great question. Any suggestions on how to keep children engaged during Zoom? Yeah, give them breaks. I know teachers put the breaks in all the time, but if you notice your child needs a break, give them what they need and give them that break. Something you can also do is if you have a child who likes to move around or touch things and fidget, giving them something to hold on to while they're listening can help. Like a fidget or maybe a small toy that they like and is comforting to them. These are some things that we use in the classroom when students are having trouble staying focused and engaged as well. You're spinning, Ashley?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Dr. White, yeah, that's great. Let them stand. I do that during PDs. I start standing sometimes and it helps. Setting up a really special learning space if you can, that also helps. Woohoo! We have our second winner.
Miss Mayner. Let me see, is she in the chat? Okay, so Cece and Miss Mayner. Did Miss Mayner leave? I hope not.
Andrew's mom, she's there.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Miss Marino.
Yes, I see her. Hey, you won a wonderful social emotional basket of toys and items. Woo woo.
Somebody brought something up in the chat that I wanted to highlight really quick. Somebody says the teacher says no toys. So talk with your teacher or us individually if you think that's something that might help your student. We definitely don't want children using toys playing during lessons, but if it's something that they need and that's going to help them focus, that's totally different. We see this in the classroom all the time. It's hard for us to recognize who needs it and who might not benefit from it, right? We want them to be benefiting from it while they're home on Zoom. So talk to us again or talk to your teachers if you notice or think that might be something that can help. Any other questions that we missed? I'm just scrolling.
So I see Andrew though. Andrew, you won. Hey, Andrew. Hey.
Also, if you're interested in any of these resources, like the list of the materials at home you can use, the websites, this is going to be up on the Mount Vernon website, right, Dr. White? For families to access if you ever want to go back and re-listen to parts of the presentation. Dr. White says, parents, there will be times when you have to be alone and recharge so you can be well for your child. It's a great point.
Okay to take a break from your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. I'm gonna show y'all right now.
Hey.
And I've got the workout going here. It's okay to tell your child, I tell Abby all the time, give me 5 or give me 10. It's quite all right. Because sometimes doing that will stop you from yelling. It will stop you from screaming. It will stop you from aggressions that our kids, because they don't really understand, they're just thinking we're being mean to them or we don't love them anymore because they're at that stage. So, I mean, if there was one thing about the pandemic that I learned is you gotta take a minute for yourself. And I know it's hard, but that's why your kids need to be in bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. If not for them, do it for you. Do it for you. Like, seriously, you gotta do it for you. Put them to bed early so you can have some time. If you're like me, you're up at 5:45 in the morning, you're making breakfast, you're getting the kid ready. My daughter's bus is here at 7:10 in the morning.
True.
True. And then I'm rushing to get to the office for your kids. Then I'm rushing to get across the Bronx to get my daughter. And then I'm rushing home to cook. Like, I've got rice and red snapper on the stove now, like running back and forth. Like, I'm living your life, but you gotta take a minute. Put your kids to bed on time if you can, and take a minute for yourself. That is part of it. That's gonna help you give your child what you need at home. So don't feel guilty. And for my single parents out there, y'all are going straight to heaven in the left lane in a truck because you don't get a break. And I understand that. Like, I have girlfriends who are single moms and I take their kids. Find a friend who could take your kid for a minute because you're gonna need a break sometimes. Just to release, drink water, wine, whatever you do, watch some television that you can't watch in front of your kids. It's just important. It's important for you. And you will be a better parent for doing that. You will be a better parent for doing that. Because right now, spending time with our kids is what's going to help them make their developmental milestones. And it's going to help you see what your child is doing. You have to spend time with your kids to do the checklist that I sent home in that winter newsletter. So that's just my parent piece. It's not my soapbox. It's just living the struggle with you guys. It's just important. And some of you I have a parent with 6 kids at home. I have parents who have kids from high school to pre-K and just had a baby, and it's rough on them, and it's okay. And it's okay to scream, whoever put that in there. And it's okay to cry. It's okay. It's okay. Don't let your kids see you cry if you can. Go in the bathroom and turn the shower on. That's a skill I learned. Go in the bathroom, close the door, and put the shower on, because then they won't hear you. Miss Battersby says cry in the shower. Miss Battersby and I cry together all the time. So listen, Miss B and I have the crying down. But just for you guys, parents, and you guys are doing an amazing job. We are so proud of you. We're just so proud of you guys. And don't worry, if your child is not writing their name perfect, it will come. That's why we're here. They don't remember every letter. It's okay. It's repetition. That's why we're here. And stop doing your kids' homework in Seesaw, because we know you're doing it. Hello. You don't have to do their homework. They don't have to get it all right. If they do, we can't help your kid. We can't help them. Stop doing their homework. I love y'all, but I watched the homework and I said, oh, 4-year-old moving that mouse that fast. That mama need to stop the emails. Stop doing that homework for them. It's okay. It's okay that they make a mistake. We just want them to engage in the learning, and it's all gonna be fine. And I will still be here. Miss Marissa, Miss Ashley, Sheena B will still be here when you guys go to kindergarten. So if you have a kindergarten issue, you can always call me. I used to supervise kindergarten too, so I know every teacher from kindergarten to 8th grade. So feel free to reach out to us. We are here for you. We're gonna give you boxes to go home with over the summer so you guys can practice some kindergarten skills so you can make all your milestones. So have no fear. Everybody, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
You are. And
because my trainer is looking at me like, why are you doing these push-ups right now? And I have another meeting at 8 o'clock. So everybody have a great night. Be safe. If you need anything, feel free to email us. Take care, everybody. On to you, Miss Marissa.
Thanks. I think you summed it up great, Dr. Wright. Thank you for saying all of that. I was just going to say, you are all doing amazing, and so are our students. Keep in mind, there's no other group of incoming pre-K students that have gone through learning this way. This is completely new. There's been no other group of students who have experienced this. So that is really cool that they're going to keep moving through, and they're all going to go to kindergarten and they're going to do great. And thank you, Ms. Grant, for repeating this again. We're here to assist in every area of need. You need to be taken care of too in order for our students to be taken care of. So thank you for saying that again. And we are a little bit over, so thank you. I don't know, Ashley, if you wanted to add anything before we sign out.
Thank you guys. We don't want to keep you any longer. We'll see you in Friend Circle. It was so nice to see you guys.
If you have a question, feel free to hang back. Anything specific. Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Where's Andrew?
Hey, Miss Grant.
Hey.
Hey.
Where did Andrew go? I was waiting to see Andrew again.
I know. Yeah, where did Andrew go? Did he go to bed?
He went to bed. He went to bed.
Yeah.
Bye. Give him a hug.
Yes.
You're welcome. We will reach out about your prize.
Yes,
too.
we will. We'll
Gotta
reach
save
out
the
so you
check.
can get your prizes. Hey,
That's my
Andrew.
gym buddy.
Great job, ladies.
Hey, Andrew, what's up? That's my gym buddy. We had
Say hi.
Hey, Mr. Pillow.
Hi.
Hey, Andrew.
Say hi. Say hi, Miss Ashley. I believe that's Miss Ashley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say hi. Oh, now you're all so funny. Now mommy's home with you. Look at you. Thank you guys. It was very informative. Thank you. I really
Oh, you're
appreciate it.
welcome. Yeah, thanks
I
for
really
coming.
do.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, now it's time for this boy to go to bed so he can see y'all
Good
tomorrow.
night, Andrew.
Yes.
Say good night.
Bye.
All right. Come on. Let's get ready for bed. Come on. Good night, guys.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Hey, Ashley, do you mind stopping the recording?
Yes. There we go.